than 2 years on from the launch of the DJI Inspire 3, we've seen this drone continue to elevate the possibilities of aerial cinematography. With the 75mm 1.8, we saw them make a lens even tighter than ever before, and that combination with the 8K sensor on the Inspire 3 allows you to get some pretty incredible close-up shots. But what if you could go even further? And that is where Viltrox come in with their 90mm F3.5. Viltrox recently sent me this lens to do some testing, and I couldn't think of a better place than the remote fjords of East Greenland, where I took this lens to a place called the Red Island to film a sequence about these gigantic icebergs that kind of beached themselves in a little inlet. It is a truly chaotic and extremely beautiful place, and the perfect place to see how things like lens parallax, stabilization, and pure image quality can stack up on this lens. This is an extremely light lens at just 170 grams. It really feels like you're just holding a piece of paper, and when compared to the 75mm 1.8, you don't need those counterweights to make it balance. And this is, for convenience purposes, quite nice, because I've found when I want to use that 75, there is this like slight fatigue in my mind of knowing that I need to take the lens off, put the counterweights on, and then put the 75 on, and so on, reversing that if I want to shoot with another lens again. But this does mean that if you were, for example, to use the 50mm and then the 90, you would no longer need to have those counterweights with you, and you would be quicker in the field. The lens itself has a 52mm filter thread, which is different from all the other lenses in the DJI kit, meaning that you do need to purchase new filters or a step-up ring in order to fit them onto the lens. So the biggest thing that's talked about when you go onto longer lenses from an aerial perspective is stabilization. How does the wind affect those lenses? And I will never forget the Inspire 2 with the 50mm lens was quite a risky combination, because you would always see that lens shaking if there was wind hitting it. The Inspire 3 is much stronger, and the 90mm, of course, we are now going back to a lighter form factor. This particular day that I did my testing, I wouldn't say it was the windiest of days. It was just a light breeze and no real issues that I could find in terms of stabilization in those shots. They looked absolutely amazing. Now, one of the biggest things that is exciting about going onto longer lenses is the option to be able to make parallax. This is enhanced even further with more compression on that 90mm, allowing you to make the backgrounds have this incredible effect as you move around subjects. Now, the closer the subject is relative to the background, the more this effect will be enhanced. And I was able to do some testing around the top ridges of icebergs, allowing the background to kind of spin through frame. I really love the orbit effect of moving around a subject at the same distance away from it. That combination, it really leads to some impactful close-up shots that can tie well into an overall sequence. This lens has an electronic port, so it's talking to the camera, meaning that we have full autofocus compatibility. So that addition really makes it feel in a way like a native lens in this kit. And I would say really the only downside when comparing to the 75 1.8 is purely just that you have less low light capability, going from 75 1.8 to 90mm F3.5. It really would just be a evening or blue hour environment where I would really lean on the 75mm 1.8 just to get that increased amount of light into the sensor. In a daytime environment where the light is not really an issue, 90mm definitely interests me for those extra close-up shots in my sequences. Now, taking a look at the image quality in terms of video and photos, you can see that at a 2x crop, there is still an incredible amount of detail in these images. Really a testament to the design that Viltrox has put behind this lens. And you can see here that the stills have very minimal vignetting and nice sharpness through the frame, right from the edges and into the center. It kind of blows my mind, like it doesn't make sense how such a featherweight light lens can produce such incredible results. But here we are, it's 2025 and the camera industry is developing at lightning speed. One of the biggest things to keep in mind with such a long lens, you are really needing to rely on the FPV camera on the drone for a sense of proximity when flying. Without seeing the FPV camera, your ability to be aware of your surroundings is extremely limited, making it very easy to crash or have mishaps with the drone. And I actually found myself often just opening that FPV camera to situate myself in a close environment when I'm getting super close-up textural shots, and then I was able to make very concise, small movements to be able to get these types of close-up shots that put the drone in a somewhat precarious situation. You really have less of an ability to know those things with such a long lens. So with that said, that concludes my thoughts on the 90mm. This is such a huge leap in possibilities, knowing that we have such a lightweight lens, very easy to use, can fit in the box of the Inspire 3 lens kit. It allows us to punch in even further with the Inspire 3 than ever before, and for that, I am just simply very excited. So thank you to Viltrox for sending me this lens for testing, and you can see a link in the description to check out the lens for yourself. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to see more videos from Iceland and the Arctic, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.